Were you doing broadcast?
Welcome to the Ramblecast with Chris, Nick, Jack, and Judas. Hey, everybody, it's the Ramblecast. So we have our new host, Judas.
Well, I'm glad to be on the show. So apparently Chris just found out about 5 minutes ago that I recorded a show with Shandy.
I apologize because I didn't know this wasn't. I thought everybody knew. So before we recorded, I said, "Hey, so how did that work come about?"
We were going to keep it quiet. We were just going to ignore it like it didn't happen. Then you had to pick up, and then you had to mention Lando. You know, basically, we welcomed Matt into the Ramblecast, and what's he do? He betrays Chris and me by doing an Owen Brew.
Yeah, dude. Like, you didn't know Brew. We didn't even know. Yeah. We didn't even know about it.
And we kicked Jay to the curb without even thinking about it.
What even insulted? Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, too.
You know, an opportunity posed itself, and I thought, hey, why not cook alone in the kitchen with Shandy?
To be fair to Matt, in this day and age, it's really hard to communicate with people.
Really?
Because you don't. Because a letter takes a long time to get from A to Z.
True. Very true.
Long distance phone calls are very expensive.
Hey, they have
air freight.
Oh, wait. I still think I'm in the 60s. I'm sorry. I watched Ken Burns Vietnam, and I'm still in the 60s. I'm sorry.
Actually, Chris and Nick were both on vacation when we recorded that.
So that's the perfect time to go behind their back.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it's really going behind their back so much as I just
look at the single lady in the kitchen over there. I think I'll go make some barbecue. The guys aren't home.
To be fair, we apparently have a good chemistry from what the listeners have chimed in.
I hate to be the guy that says this, but it seems like it's the most popular Owen Brew barbecue so far. I mean,
except for the windstorm that kind of took over my mic. So I apologize for all the paper rustling that is on that.
And there was some sex. There was some sex stuff going on in the.
We just discussed this sexual innuendos.
Okay.
Death Star. I knew Shandy would enjoy that. I think we've discussed that before.
There were so many of those. Like my favorite ones that you didn't even mention, which was you came in that thing. You're braver than I thought. And your main target is the small thermal hole just above the main hole.
There's a lot in there, and I knew there'd be things that Nick would point out that I missed. So
it's a shame Nick wasn't there to point them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, only if.
Yeah.
Well, hey, sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen, you're going to get burned.
Too many chefs, too many opinions.
Like Uncle Owen and Baru.
That's pretty much, I think, how it actually occurred. It wasn't stormtroopers; it was just a house fire caused by her trying to boil blue milk.
I did like early on Shandy going, and now I get the reference of why it's called Owen and Baru's barbecue.
That's awesome.
That's a true Star Wars fan.
So
is Shandy now a Star Wars fan?
She's only watched the first one. So.
Yes, she's kind of going on the journey of watching them, for the first time.
So forgive me, I wasn't aware this whole thing happened, so I didn't have a chance to listen. What were Shandy's impressions?
She liked it. She thought Luke was somewhat of a doofus. Yeah, whiny.
Fair.
And
the hero of the hero. Yeah.
There were a lot of dudes. She was surprised that it wasn't longer. For some reason, in her mind, it was a really long movie.
Yeah.
So.
It's not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm thinking she's thinking like the whole trilogy as one movie, not
sure
3 2-hour
some
movies.
build up and progression there.
Well, and then when people combine all of them and they say, "Oh, it's over 10 hours worth of material or something like that,"
That's all it is.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just.
I was really
an expert.
Sorry. I was really surprised at you because I couldn't have kept it to myself when she was asking about. So what are the force powers and like can anyone have the force or is it something inherited? And I was just like, and then you were like, you really did a good job of kind of keeping that in. And I was like, oh,
you like it's all about the midichlorian count.
Well, that's what I mean because like if it had been me, because that's always the argument is that in the original trilogy people just thought it was like a religion. As long as you believed in the religion, then anyone could become a Jedi. And then Episode 1 basically said, no, you have to have a midichlorian count, which it ruined that illusion.
Well, I'll be honest with you. After the first 3, that's what I thought. You just had to believe in it.
Right.
And I believed like crazy.
Yeah.
And couldn't move anything.
Well, it's nice to see that kind of Disney's returned to some of that, at least.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what they were trying to do at the end of the Last Jedi with the kid. Anyone who believes.
I still haven't seen the last one.
What? The Last Jedi? You haven't seen that one?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, well, it's on Netflix now.
Wait, so. not Last Jedi. What's the one with Solo? Solo. I haven't seen Solo yet. Yeah. I saw Solo yet.
Yeah, Solo's worth the watch. Yeah.
I'll watch it. I actually forgot all about it. I apologize.
Hey, don't apologize to me.
Well, while we're talking about Star Wars,
it's not like I've ever been asked to be on the podcast. So what do I care?
While we're talking about Star Wars, and apparently I know I don't have an outlet on a podcast to talk about it anymore, so I'm going to bring it up here.
Yeah.
You guys are more than welcome. We can cook some more Owen and Brews.
So we're more than welcome to go onto our podcast.
Sure. If you guys want to cook without me, I'm not going to take offense to it. I actually half expected Nick to all of a sudden release some recording of him and Amanda together. So
that'd be interesting.
No, in all joking aside, but what about the news today? You guys heard about Billy D? Yeah.
Yeah. Billy D is going to be in episode 9.
How old is Billy? How old is he now?
He's got to be in his 70s at least.
Late 70s. Yeah.
I mean, he's still cool.
Oh yeah.
But man, he's up there.
Debatable. He wasn't that cool on Lost.
Well, to be fair, what kind of part did he have on Lost?
Forgot. I know he's in it. I forget.
I don't expect Billy D. Williams to have a huge role in it for some reason. I mean, it's still going to revolve around kind of the main cast.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a big role, man. He's going to take over the Falcon.
He's a star.
What do you think, guys? Though they're killing everybody off. You think they're going to kill Billy D. off as well
with the Falcon?
Just make it blow up.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he agreed to come back. They're going to kill him off.
Oh.
No, he agreed to come back because he's about to get a paycheck.
I'm sure Billy's got some money stashed away.
Oh, sure. That Colt 45 revenue is just pouring in. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited that he's going to be in it. So at least we can kind of see what happens to his story, because it seemed kind of like, where was he? And maybe now that Carrie Fisher's gone, they're just like, who else could we pull out?
I mean, I could see that. Like, I don't know, because he was a general the same way Han was a general. And you can see it now that Carrie Fisher's dead. Maybe I don't know if he'd be the new leader, but he's definitely an admired, respectable person.
Are they paid? Like, so if Han's a general, is he being paid general's wages, or is it just like in title only?
That was one of the weird things about The Force Awakens that I let it go. I didn't care that much about it. But, he was a general in the rebellion. You would think that he would be some kind of ranking official in the new government at some point, but they just kind of went back to his old story trope of, I'm a smuggler again. And
well, so in the what was it? The Aftermath
books.
Yeah. I mean, he does leave. And basically he's kind of like, sorry, babe, but I gotta help my Wookiee friend. I gotta help Chewie. So it's like I gotta bounce. So he really does kind of.
So you're saying Hans is kind of like the Matt.
Oh yeah, he just does whatever he's interested in. Doesn't consult with anybody. Yeah.
No.
Goes off and does his own thing on his own ship.
I hate to keep being that guy that keeps bringing that stuff up. I should probably stop.
No, it's fine. I thought it'd make for good podcasting. If I told you what I was doing, then it wouldn't have been fun, you know?
No.
Nick's like all ears, like, what?
Yeah.
Well, when I saw you post the picture, I assumed he was on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought like maybe him and Shanny were just like having a conversation or something. And I was like, why is it on a brew feed? And I was like, what's going on? I was like, okay.
I didn't even notice Owen Brew. I thought he was on the broadcast. Anyway,
I didn't know any of this stuff until just about 10 minutes.
Well, you know,
It's a deep cut. It's a deep cut, Matt. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's
Matt's upset by it. You can tell. He's broken up by it.
I thought it would be funny.
And you should let Matt, or I mean not Matt. You should let Chris do like Empire Strikes Back and me Jedi, and like you totally different aspects. Like Chris is going, get out of here. You're like, what do you think of that? No, I don't know. It's a really terrible Boston impression.
That was not your best impression.
No.
You do a better Tim. And we never. And by the way, we've had no response from Tim.
Did anybody message Tim?
No,
we just called him on the show.
Instead of he listens, hey, you can come join us. But there was no message from Tim. No.
I hope he's alive.
Yeah, he's kicking.
He put some picture of his kid the other day.
Yeah, I'm being facetious. No,
he's alive and well. I know he listened to Owen Brew's Barbecue with Matt and Shandy.
Yeah.
I saw him tweet that.
He produced it.
No, if he produced it, there wouldn't have been so many paper rustling. So, again, I apologize for that. So Chris, what are you weaving over there? A friendship bracelet for me that you're going to break into?
Playing with cotton?
Playing a little bit of cotton.
Yeah.
A little bit of cotton.
A little bit of cotton.
Oh, did anybody? I haven't seen it yet, but did anybody watch Ant-Man and Wasp yet?
No.
What? Okay. Ant-Man what?
Ant-Man and Wasp.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah,
I do want to see it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to check it out Sunday.
I did get to see Incredibles 2 with the family.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
And
there's actually an aspect of it that reminded me of the Evil Genius show that we watched. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a weird, I wonder if they,
They stole it from Evil Genius, or Evil Genius stole it from them?
It's not a big portion of, so if you go see Incredibles 2, don't be like,
I'll just listen to your podcast with you and Shandy talk about Incredibles 2.
Yeah, it's a whole new series of, it's basically Shandy seeing a movie and I see a movie. Mm-hmm. We just talk about it.
He said, she said, or
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
The new Siskel and Ebert.
So Matt's got a new podcast with Shandy where they get together and they come up with a topic and they have to go back and forth and debate each side.
Mm-hmm. Matt's always wrong.
Yeah.
Well, sure. I just feel like I'm frozen in carbonite here.
So let's change the subject here on poor Matt. So Chris, you were on vacation last week.
Yes, I was. I was down on the beach for the entire week and it was glorious. Yesterday was a bit rough, I'll tell you though. It was re-entry Monday. Wait, what's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Monday was tough. Yeah, and yesterday actually. Now that I think of it.
Wait, today too.
That re-entry of coming back from a vacation and trying
especially the beach, because it's most of the time you go to the beach, it's relaxing. It's not like you go if you go to say even Disney, where you're going to another city, you're running around. But when you go to the beach, it's all about relaxing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like we strategically plan it that way too. So it's like the place that we end up renting, we typically place, for the last 7 years we stayed at this place. It was Amanda's aunt's cottage that they rent out, but we actually rented this year because they ended up selling that house after our vacation last year. So unfortunately, we had to pay for it this year, which kind of sucked. But we have like a group of folks that go with us, and it's like our requisites for the vacation are is the house has to be on the beach. Like
Right.
That's it. It has to be on the beach, and it has to be having an outdoor shower the whole night, and just be able to go back and forth to the beach with ease and not have to pack up a car and the kids and all that BS. It's fantastic.
Which is a night. I can't stand doing that. So
oh my gosh, yeah. So it's like, I mean, being able to have dinner, put the kids to bed, and go walk down to the beach and have a fire until 12, 1, 2. Sometimes
nothing better than sleeping to the waves, though. Either.
Yeah,
or just flat out passing out to the waves. Also fun. But
how many Coronas did that take?
Okay, so we should talk about that for a second. We had, 8 adults. Half of them were drinking Coronas, and we did the math, and we actually added it all up. We spent over $600 on Corona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like we literally drank all day. Like all day.
Can you so you can drink legally on the beach?
Well, yeah, it's a private beach, so you can do what the hell you want.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it was just great. But I mean, that's another benefit of having the house like on the water is that you can just get wasted.
Plus you have somewhere to dispose of the bear, right?
Well, we were respectful of the sand, and we did not trash the beach. We may have burned a few cans, but yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, the weather was phenomenal. We had like only one of the days was rainy, and that was awesome because it was like, hey, we got a day to relax and just kind of chill out.
So it was a 4-bedroom house, 5-bedroom house? What?
1, 2, 3 bedroom plus a pull-out couch. And we brought in air mattress as well.
Oh, okay.
Like we had this huge California king bed. Like it was awesome. It was phenomenal. And quite frankly, I wish I wasn't here talking with you guys. I wish I was there listening to an episode of Own and Brew that I'm not on.
That hurts, Chris.
I'm starting to see why Matt didn't invite you.
Yeah.
No, it was so good. That's like the week. I can't express like how much I need that week down the Cape because I grew up going down there as a kid, like every summer since I was born. But being able to go down there and experience it with my daughter and my friends and their kids, it's just a phenomenal place.
The kids all get along.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they played really well all week, which is awesome. Only times sometimes they turn into a little bit of a-holes when they've been up until 9:00 at night after having the ice cream truck that stopped by a few hours earlier or whatever it might be. But it's just great. It was just a phenomenal time.
You have that
posted all over the place on Facebook. You probably saw a few of the ones that were of the family.
You have that very like sun red look about you.
Oh, dude, yes. Oh, and someone actually, you know what? We had someone bring some edible treats.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
Nice.
Which was awesome, actually. So I got these pieces of chocolate that were really, what should I say? Medicated chocolate.
Sure.
Mentos chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. So the first night I tried, I had a quarter, a third of this like little piece of chocolate because it was pretty potent stuff, apparently, or so I'm told. I'm not used to edibles. It was actually my first time doing an edible. So I did the first night. I was like, this is all right. And the second night, I ate half of it, and I'm like, this is okay. I guess nothing's really happening. And then the magic of edibles is that all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So I got to that point where I was like, this is fantastic. I didn't have to do anything.
I never want to go back to work
ever again. And I just ate the other half. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, very, 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 very good stuff. Highly recommend.
Could you? I know you like being there for a week. Could you be there every day, year after year? Could you live there?
No, I think it would lose its it would lose its allure. Really, I mean, not to mention the fact that Cape Cod, Massachusetts, or the whole Barnstable County, which is Cape Cod, is in the off season is not a great place because you may have seen on various different like Cracktown USAs or whatever, but like the Cape is actually rampant with drug use.
Oh, okay.
Which is a little bit rough. So if you go down there for the summer, you kind of you don't see the forest through the trees type of thing. Kind of just all blends in together with everybody. But in the off season, the true colors really kind of shine. Where there's not a whole lot to do out there.
Sorry.
That's what I say. Like, yeah, it's because there's no really work or industry, so it's just
the biggest industry down there is fishing, really,
right.
and then or going off Cape and having to drive to Boston or whatever or off, not necessarily Boston, but somewhere close by to get work. And yeah, there's not a whole lot down there. I mean, tourism is huge, and once the tourist season's over, it's like ghost town.
So it's like Amityville Island.
Yeah. Well, Amityville was actually based off of Martha's Vineyard, which is right off the Cape.
Oh,
yeah.
It's funny, because Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense too, because like Martha's Vineyard is a very touristy, but like no one ever says I'm going to Nantucket.
Oh, they do. That's so. The stigma behind the two islands is that Martha's Vineyard is the touristy, like not lowbrow, but when people from Nantucket talk about it, they talk about it as lowbrow because Nantucket is expensive. It's like a very like high end. Like that's where like the president used to go like Obama went to Nantucket a bunch of times in his 8 years. It's kind of like the hoity-toity.
That's where Wings was
Wings
located, right?
Oh.
TV show.
Yep. Well, I mean,
It wasn't
based off
filmed there,
of-
but yeah.
right. But I mean, Jaws is actually filmed, I believe, in Martha's Vineyard.
Huh.
I might be wrong about that.
Well, I know a lot of the people are in this movie are actual people from that area.
Yeah, then definitely, it was definitely filmed there.
Because the mom where she slaps Brody,
Mhm.
she's just a mom.
Yeah,
She's not an actress. I don't mean just a mom, but she's not an actress.
right. She's not. She's an actual mom, not an actress. So
Right, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, both islands are beautiful, no question. Nantucket is gorgeous, but it's ridiculous money. Like majority of people who go to Nantucket pretty much fly there or take their yacht over to Nantucket.
Drive their Lexus.
My day yacht.
Or they put their Lexus on the ferry boat. But it's beautiful. I mean, both islands are amazing. The only thing that stinks about Nantucket is like you can't like just do like a day over there. You have to plan it out, like do like a long weekend or a week there. But at the same time, like if you're there for too long, it kind of like get a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine is her older brother is actually a police officer on Martha's Vineyard, and it's crazy. Like to own property on the island, you have to win a lottery, a literal like land lottery.
Oh, really?
So my friend Kelly, her brother Sean.
So wait, if someone's selling property, they have to put it into a lottery?
Yes.
Really?
Unless they're selling it to family. Yeah, if they're not going to, it goes into like a land lottery or whatever. So, my friend Kelly, her older brother Sean married into a woman who lived on Martha's Vineyard, but they entered in a lottery to buy a house, to buy land to build a house on. So they were able to get them. They won, which is amazing.
Well, how much are they paying cops down up there?
It's a great question. I mean, probably. I don't know.
I mean, because they're building, they have the land, but they're building a house on it. That can't be cheap.
No. But I think I'm not sure what she does, but her family. I mean, they've lived on the island forever.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? But yeah, it's a beautiful area. I mean, if you're ever looking for a place to get away, and take a vacation, like Cape Cod itself is a great place because all within an hour to an hour and a half of anywhere you are on the Cape, there's so many different types of vacationing you can do. Like where we stay, it's very, very low key. It's very chill. It's very picturesque. It's what you see on the postcards, that type of stuff, and not a whole lot of tourism stuff happening around. But you can definitely find yourself in the middle of, mini golf / crab shack haven if you want to go down the road, like about a few 20, 30 miles on the road. Then you can get all the way out to the end, the outer edge of the Cape, where it's just unbelievable natural seashore. There's so many different types of vacations you can have just right there on the Cape. It's awesome. It's
hard for me to go on vacation because every place I go to is such a letdown since I live in Raleigh. I mean, it can't be topped. So it's like,
True. Very, very true.
Have you been out to the Outer Banks?
Me?
No, I meant
I think we have. I don't know. I've been to the beach a couple times. It's just not my thing to drive 3 hours to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like during the summer. That's what everybody does here. Is they just all pack up and go to the beach for the weekend and then come back home. That's the thing to do.
Oh.
I go, well, I'm not going to the beach with 5,000 people.
Right.
There. I mean, I grew up 15 minutes away from the beach. I'm not driving 3 hours.
Right.
Sorry, I'm not doing it.
It's kind of what it's like down here in Massachusetts as well. It's like everyone goes down to the Cape for the weekend. So it's like if you're driving, it's going to be a brutal commute. But luckily, where I live, insert joke here, southwest of Boston, my commute, the ride for us to get down there is actually to the place where we stayed this year. It was 55 minutes. It was just short of an hour. And it's just amazing to think that like so much is, there's so much to do just like an hour away. It's like I'm walking into a different world. But I'm going to leave now, guys. I'm going to head down the Cape. I'll see you out later.
Yeah, when we go to the beach here, it's usually we go off season. Seriously, we go out because there's literally nobody there.
Yeah.
I remember one time we went there and the maid was knocking on our door at 7 a.m, even though we had do not disturb on the door.
Oh, she had to get her chores done.
And I finally go, what are you doing? I go, no, we don't want housekeeping. Sorry. No, it's 7 a.m. Do not disturb.
Wait, this is a housekeeping at a hotel?
Yes, it was a hotel, and it was one of the beaches we went to. Might have been, Myrtle Beach. Might have been Myrtle Beach.
That's ridiculous.
I go, what the hell's going on here? Now, we went to Disney World. We stayed there. We took, we went with the whole family. They just left the stuff. They left you all the towels, the soap, the shampoos, the everything. They just left a big basket at the door.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have shampoo and soap that we brought back. It was because they would just bring us every day. They just brought us a huge basket of stuff that we didn't need, but we kept it.
Yeah.
But it was just that to me was the best thing. It had you had your own vacuum. You clean up your own mess in this, but I enjoyed it personally.
Well, all of those little soaps. My mom, she used to be a traveling salesperson, and so she'd travel a lot and spend a lot of motels and stuff like that. So she just collected them. So for forever, I mean, I think she always had those soaps just piled up. We still used them.
Well, they used to be a lot cooler too because they'd spend a little money on the logos and have their own. But now it's just soap.
Right.
It's funny,
like carving into the soap bars. Now it's just lazy soaping.
Yeah, it's just soap. It's just,
lazy soaping.
They don't even have they don't even like a ridges on it. It's just a bar of soap. Not like where you used to have like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck on it, or whatever the hotel was, Hilton or something. Now it's just soap.
It's interesting though, what people collect though. Like you're saying, she collected soap. Like my grandfather had I don't know where they had a butter churn, like an old butter churn, and it was just full of matchbooks.
Oh,
that's what he did. Like every hotel, every place he went, if they had free matches, he would pick it up. And I remember like as a kid, like going through them and just like, I mean, because some of them were 30, 40 years old matchbooks that had never been used.
I know a lot of people collect matchbooks.
Any with phone numbers?
Yeah, like call me later.
Yeah. You're like, wow, Grandpa.
Wow.
Hey, you want a podcast with me about Star Wars?
What exactly did Han pull? You know, you got a lot of guts coming here, kid.
Well, speaking of collecting, what did you guys? Do you guys still collect?
I collect everything.
What do I collect?
I have every ticket stub from every movie, every concert, everything I've done since 1990. That's one thing. And Legos, and I have everything. Magnets. Yeah, every national park or any kind of like touristy place, I will get a magnet. That's one thing I do.
Yeah, my wife did that every time we went to watch a Charger. She'd have to get a magnet from that city. Mm-hmm. Now it's all over our refrigerator.
Yeah.
I used to save all the ticket stubs from all the sporting events I went to up until like my early 20s, and I stopped. But I still have them. They're up. I have them in a box up in the attic. There's tons of them.
Well, the reason why I do that is because my dad grew up in the 60s, and he would tell me as a kid, like, oh, I got to see the Doors, I got to see Jimi Hendrix, and I'd be like, oh, really? I was like, what'd they play? He's like, I don't know. And so I don't know why. It's one of those things that triggered that to where like I keep everything, so I know exactly what date, and where I saw it, and I write down the set list, and so I know, I have just a long Word document of every single set list of every show I've ever seen.
Huh. Nice. I used to collect ticket stubs. I would go to like probably, I don't know, 25 to 30 Red Sox games a year when I was in college, and I would just go. Mm-hmm. And I had this grand plan of every guy in college who wants to build a bar in his apartment. And my grand plan was I wanted to do the whole, bar countertop.
Oh, right.
All the stubs and like put lacquer over it.
Yeah.
Never end up doing it. I got all the tickets downstairs somewhere.
It's not too late.
Oh no! You know what it is? They're gone. They were a casualty of the Great Poo Flood.
The Great Poo Flood.
Oh my God! Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, now you can't do it. So
nope.
Well, you have to click something else, like all those Corona tops. Just like one summer, 1
week.
Yeah, 1 week
God.
on one summer.
We actually ended up having to transfer over to cans because we had too many bottles, and the amount of garbage that we produced, like trash bags of just because you had 8 adults and 3 kids, just the amount of trash that we created. We actually had to switch over to cans halfway through the week, so we could at least crush the cans down and put them in the trash barrel. Because
theoretically, you probably could have gotten more with a better keg.
No, you know what? Honestly, that was actually we wanted to do that, but we waited too long to put together the ideas of how we're going to get a kegerator or a setup. Because it was hot. It was like 96, 97 degrees and sunny and humid every single day. We wouldn't be able to keep that outside.
Oh yeah,
like pee.
Well, I'm trying to think of things that I collect, but right now it's just broken bridges and burnt friends.
I used to collect. I used to collect beer when I went to Pennsylvania when I was 16. My cousin was collecting beer cans, and he got me into collecting beer cans. It had to be from a certain city, and I did that for a while. And then my whole closet was full of beer cans, and I said, "All right, this is just stupid." So I threw them all. I think I gathered them all up, and I think some might have been. They weren't all aluminum because they had the tin beer cans back then.
Oh.
Back in the day when we didn't have aluminum cans, we had to have tin. But used to do that. That was
with the pull tabs.
Yep, with the pull tabs and.
I like the pull tabs. Like in 2005 when I was in China, that's where all the cans were pull tabs. I was like, oh man, I hadn't seen these in years.
I used to do what everyone else did: take the pull tab and throw it into the drink. And I was watching Emergency, the show. I don't know if you guys remember Emergency, probably too young, but there was an episode where a guy's drinking a beer and the pull tab gets stuck in his throat.
Oh.
So after that I go, oh. So I never after that put a beer tab I was only 12. I've never put a tab into a can again, ever.
Well, I've learned just from podcasting with you, Jack, to not drink glass while I'm podcasting.
I do have a plastic cup here.
I would just imagine that Cindy would not allow you to podcast with anything else.
No, she says
padded walls and floors.
Well, Zach, he came up here. He wanted to see us on. Was it Sunday or Saturday? One day he wanted to come spend the day with Papa Gigi. So Jay and Colleen brought him by. So I made a treasure map. So I was hiding. I got dollars.
So time out for 1 second, Jack. You know what that really meant? I mean that.
Oh, I know.
Colleen and Jay convinced him to say, "I want to spend the day at Papa and Gigi's house, so they could have some time away."
I'm sure
it's a great strategy. There's no doubt about it.
I'm sure that's what it was. But to me, I don't care. It's time that you weren't expecting. Anyway, so I got a treasure map, and I'm hiding dollars around the house. So he's got to follow the map and find the dollar. And so he comes in the studio and he looks at my chair. He goes, "Oh, Papa, this is where you fell." Because he's seen the video.
Oh, he saw the video?
Yeah, he was in the hospital. I didn't realize he was standing next to me when I was showing it. And so he goes, "Oh, but," he goes, the fish tank saved your life, didn't it, Papa?" I go, "Yes, the fish tank saved my life."
Oh,
because he did. Because I put on Facebook. I might have said it last week. He said, "Papa, you should podcast sitting on the floor." Because that way, if you fall, it's not so far down. You don't get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt. I said, "I promise I won't get hurt anymore. I won't do it."
Well, all joking aside, I'm glad you're good because, truth be told, I have not watched that video, and I will not.
Yeah, I've watched a couple. The doctor saw it, but I talked about it last week. The doctor saw it, and
the episode.
But I didn't realize Zach was there. I didn't realize Zach was there when I was showing it to everybody. But anyway, yeah, it was. I wish he wouldn't have seen it, but he saw it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
He's probably young enough, though, that he'd forget about it, though.
This kid doesn't forget anything.
Apparently, Chris, the doctors and nurses thought your line of, "Hey, guys, I think Jack just died." They thought that was very funny.
They did think it was funny. They go, "Wow, he did he know you?"
I was terrified. I was like, "I can't believe I said that."
They were laughing. They thought it was funny. I go, "Yeah, he felt bad afterwards about it," but I go, "At the time, he didn't know. I would have said the same thing." So, anyway, that is life.
There you go.
What else is going on, Nick? Anything in your life next week? Hey, Nick, are you going to Comic-Con next week?
I am going to Comic-Con next week.
I'm so jealous, man. I haven't been in 6 years.
Wow.
I thought it was longer than that.
Well, no, maybe it was because
2010 was last year or 2011.
It was 2000. No, dude, it was 2000. Wait, what was it? 2000. It must be 2011 because the day I got back from Comic-Con, got home from the airport, and then within 3 minutes of me walking the house is when my wife told me she was pregnant. So that was it.
Yeah, no more money.
Do you enjoy Comic-Con? No, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm pregnant.
Here's your Comic-Con.
And everyone's like, "Well, wait till your daughter gets older. You can take her." I'm like, "Hell no! I don't want to go with my kid. I want to go by myself."
I know Jay and Colleen take Zach, and I guess they're bringing Alex too. So,
God bless them.
I don't. Not me.
I wouldn't if I was them, but
hell no.
Hey, they're pros. You know, they probably feel comfortable enough.
I mean, I think there was one year that my wife went. She didn't go to Comic-Con. She went to the beach. But there's something great about going by myself. I enjoyed it better just because I didn't have to worry about like, oh, well, I mean, I got this going on, but I should probably head back to my buddy's house because my wife is there. I should probably see my wife this week at some point. Like, God, I love her to death, but I'll tell you, it was easier to go when she wasn't there.
I think Jay and Colleen are also hoping that Zach, might happen to want to spend some time with Grandpa.
That's okay. We'll take him.
So I guess have they announced what day and
Saturday at 1:00 at the library.
Saturday at 1:00. That's earlier than most time. Most time it's like 2 or 3.
Yeah, usually we're after Javi and the writing session, writing scripts or something. Then we're just before Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Where's the library?
It's right next to the stadium.
Yeah, it's on the other side though, not the. It's on the.
Not the seaside, but the.
I guess not the seaside, but the other side. Yeah.
If you want to get good seats, I would get in line now. Because it's literally packed.
Yeah.
We're turning people away. It's so crowded.
If you want to, you probably have to get up early and get in the sales pavilion to get the bracelet, to get the Jane Jack autograph and exclusive photo.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I can't.
We just hand out copies of Richard Grieco.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part is I haven't watched an episode of Lost in like 3 years.
Better get cracking, Jack.
There'll be other people there on the panel that can answer the question.
It's true.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Well, it's funny because I had said that, I think, to you or Jay, about that. I was like, why don't you guys talk about the other podcasts other than this Lost? And of course, I'm pretty sure it was Jay. He's like, well, we're grandfathered in, and we have to talk about Lost. And
well, one year we said we'll talk about Justified. We had all these shows like Breaking Bad. We'll talk about, and that's when we were still in where people were actually in the room and ask questions. Not one question about the other stuff.
Oh,
it was all about Lost. But Lost hasn't been on in 8 years?
I fully expect for someone to stand up in the audience and say, "Hey, like, where's Matt and Shandy?" I really like that.
They have better chemistry.
They have chemistry.
What's that new show you guys have? Matt and Shandy's barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
what is it?
Yeah.
Where do you put the barbecue sauce? I don't know.
Yeah, it's too bad that I won't be there to field those.
Well, maybe we can have you call. We can patch you in. We can do a Facebook Live thing.
Doing his own press tour.
But I, as well as most of the gang, will be down at Comic-Con, and I was just down there yesterday for another conference. And
where are you staying?
We are staying this year next to the Horton Plaza, which is the most
Plaza.
Yeah, this is the most north we've been in probably 3 or 4 years.
They're getting rid of Horton Plaza.
Yeah, because I never go there. The only time I ever go there is when Cliff makes me go there to eat something really crappy.
Well, it used to be. It was at one point was the number one little shopping place in San Diego because it was a dump. I've told for all the hookers and drug dealers, and that's how it was down there. And then they cleaned it up, but now it just.
That's where we saw Captain America.
Oh, really?
When the first Captain America came out, it premiered the week that we're in Comic-Con, and we went to Horton Plaza to see it.
Huh. Remember that.
AMC Theater.
Wow.
Jack, you were there.
Doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I was not. I was not there.
You weren't there?
Mm-mm.
Huh. I wonder who was there. Maybe it was you and Shandy.
Yeah. The only movie I remember them giving out those gold bricks to see Alien Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, that was a terrible movie.
Terrible movie.
I actually like Cowboys and Aliens. That was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it.
Then,
I can't even remember the plot.
It's about cowboys and aliens.
Yeah,
Right.
basically aliens are after gold, and
Well, who isn't?
yeah, and it's kind of weird. But yeah, that and
So
Scott were the only two I remember, like movies debuting at Comic-Con.
When are you coming down, Nick? Coming down Tuesday or Wednesday?
I will be down. Yeah, Cliff and I and Jana are taking the 3:00 train or 2:50 train on Tuesday, and we should be there at 6. And go grab some dinner and have a good night. And I don't have preview night, so Wednesday's pretty much wide open.
Wait, so you're going to dinner with Cliff?
Yeah, he's buying like a good hot dog. I think probably we'll probably split a hot dog.
Split a dog.
Split a dog.
Yeah,
Maybe you can split it 3 ways.
maybe. Yeah,
You're totally going to go to 7-Eleven.
Cliff is on a diet, so
Cliff's on a diet.
yeah. Actually, you think I'm joking? He actually is on a diet.
No, but did he get heavy?
No, he didn't get heavy. He went to the doctor. He told me this maybe a month ago or so. He goes, "Yeah, I went to the doctor, and because basically I haven't exercised in a decade." And he's like, he just told me that all my cholesterol is bad cholesterol, and I need to do something in order to get my heart going. I don't know. Basically, he's changing everything. His diet.
Well, can't be eating those 7-Eleven hot dogs,
right? Because I think that's what he does a lot of times. Because he's like me. He lives the bachelor life still, and he doesn't cook for himself, and he lives around.
So you're saying you can go to Comic-Con whenever you want?
I can go to Comic-Con whenever I want. Yeah.
Alone.
But he lives in North Hollywood, which actually has fast food places, and so he goes and just eats, McDonald's or Jack in the Box or whatever all the time. So I'm sure he's not living.
When he used to record here, he would do the pickup artists. He always came with fast food.
Mm-hmm.
I go, how long do you think you could be here, Cliff? We'd have to wait for him if it was breakfast, or he would always stop for fast food, and he'd come in with a bag of fast food to record.
I almost got Jay to because apparently they're because the first day every year at Comic-Con we always go to In-N-Out and not technically North San Diego, but it's
Fashion Valley.
Yeah, the Mission Valley
or Mission Valley.
Mission Valley. They opened up a Shake Shack a couple of blocks over from In-N-Out, and I was like, I wanted to go like. Jay,
you don't do Shake Shack over In-N-Out.
But it depends because that's why I almost got him to.
I would.
I like Shake Shack over In-N-Out. But that's me.
Sucks.
But Jay said he actually kind of admitted, he goes, well, I think Shake Shack can be better than In-N-Out, but In-N-Out is consistently the same all the time. Whereas in the Shake Shack, it depends on the owner and who's making it. Because the one in downtown LA, I love the Shake Shack down here. But there's a couple others where I like
Shake Shack. Going to the Shake Shack.
I had Shake Shack for lunch today.
Shake Shack.
And what did you think? What do you get the regular Shake Shack, or you get?
I actually got the Shack dog, the Chicago dog.
Okay, haven't had that.
You ever had a Chicago dog before?
Yeah. This is
They do a very good job with it. It's
poppy seed bun, pickle, tomatoes.
Exactly. They did.
Hold on a second. Did Matt just leave to do another podcast?
I think he might have died
because he's gone.
And no one saw him.
Go ahead.
They do a really good job with the Chicago style hot dog. It was actually very good.
I've never had the Chicago style hot dog. I don't think.
Oh no, you should definitely try one. Have you ever been to Chicago?
I've been to airports.
Oh, okay. If you ever do get a chance, there's a chain of restaurants called Portillo's. Mm-hmm. And granted, there's probably 101 different places, and people from Chicago, I know Jess could probably argue this. She's not. Jess is from Wisconsin, though.
But she thinks she's from Chicago.
Yeah, people will probably argue. Portillo's is probably the real popularized touristy version of it, but they do a nice job of the roast beef, the Italian sandwich with roast beef, and they do the Chicago dog, which is like a foot long dog or whatever it is, but they have a huge pickle spear aside from it with peppers and tomatoes and onion. It's really, really good. I'm a huge fan of the Chicago style dog.
Well,
they just opened one near us, actually.
Portillo's, really?
Yeah, and the line was so long.
Is that where you just went?
Yeah, I just went right out that door right there.
Okay.
So Portillo's. There's also a Jack in the Box. So,
do you have Jack in the Box in Indiana?
We do.
Yeah.
Actually, the night of Jack's Fall, I was driving past the Jack in the Box tacos, and I
said, you know what? I should. Jack almost died. Let me get some tacos.
Yeah, this reminds me of Jack.
Because there's not one.
He'd like him.
He'd like him.
I might eat these in honor of Jack.
He might not ever eat one again. I better eat one.
Well, I always wonder because there's not, as far as I know, there's not Jack in the Box in Tennessee, and I always wonder it's because the menu at Jack in the Box is the exact same menu at Hardee's, and because Hardee's and gross. But I'm saying, it's almost the same menu. Because when I first moved out to California, I was going to go to Carl's Jr. because I thought it was like Hardee's, and the menu was completely different. And I was like, "Whoa!"
Carl's Jr. is much better than Hardee's.
I like Carl's Jr. I went out. They have them in San Diego, right? I think that's where I had.
Oh yeah.
I miss Burger Chef really. So
Don't know that
You know
one.
what's popping up around here a lot more recently in like the last 5 years is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
up.
sure.
I love me some Chick-fil-A.
They have the best. They have the best shakes.
I may not be aligned with them politically, but I am aligned with them.
They have this lemon
Their
ice
food.
cream, like shake type thing.
Mhm.
It's excellent.
It's actually a brilliant business as well. Do you guys know how the whole the ownership structure of Chick-fil-A works?
They don't work. They don't work Sundays.
Yeah.
They don't work Sundays, which is part of the political side of things, which I'm definitely not aligned with.
And they have cows saying they eat more chicken.
Yeah, well, that's just their business model, though, because like they're a Christian company, and that's what they believe is that keep the Sunday, the Sabbath holy. So
They
don't
also
work on
believe in
Sunday.
a number of other things that I don't really feel like getting into.
Oh yeah,
too
I'm
far.
talking about exactly.
That's something that's just part of it. But
Right.
here's the cool thing about
Well, they
that
don't. They don't
business.
believe in selling hamburgers.
And here's why. And here's why they've been so successful with their franchises.
Cocaine.
Whereas if you look at like if you look at like a
Machine,
Dunkin'
everything.
Donuts or a McDonald's or whatever, like it's oftentimes these franchisees are, they have the capital to open up one and then start opening up like a franchisee could own a dozen McDonald's, and it's just kind of they pop them up and they let them run themselves.
Mhm.
They're not really very much involved in the daily operations, if at all. They're just a financial backer for this company.
Mhm.
But what's different about Chick-fil-A is I believe that they will provide you as a franchisee, they will provide you with the location and all of the furnishings of the restaurant. And start it all up for you. But the requirement to be a franchisee for Chick-fil-A is that you have to work at that Chick-fil-A. You have to be a full-time owner or franchisee / manager of the location. So if you walk into any Chick-fil-A, you're going to find the person in charge who is the franchisee who is going to be behind the counter. They'll be greeting customers. They'll be a part of the business. And that's a requirement to have a Chick-fil-A franchise, which I think is actually really brilliant. And it's great for, and I was talking with a friend of mine, it's actually really great for people who, and I used to be one of these people who, almost get themselves in that position where they're working the food service industry and they can't get out of it because it's very hard to leave food service industry if you're making good money. It's difficult because you're going to take a pay cut to go work a 9 to 5. It's great for those people who are in management restaurants or have been like a lifer, as we used to call them, in the food service industry, and you have a little bit of money saved up and you want to be able to do something with it because it's the same lifestyle.
Right.
You're going to work the same hours, but you're going to have a bit more of a stake in the game, right? And I don't think a franchisee for a Chick-fil-A is making crazy money, but they're making a really good living off of doing what they would normally do, but also like running a restaurant.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my thing. Because Cindy wanted to open up a Jack in the Box out here. I go, you'd have to be at that thing 24/7.
Oh yeah, because they're open pretty much all the time.
Well, not that, but I go, people would be stealing you blind.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's that.
I go, there's no way. I go. Plus, I go, you know how much capital you need to start one of those damn things. I go, and we did it. I had a franchise for 10 years. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
I just in running the business that I do, I mean, I think about hiring people and I think about all of the hassle I have to deal with payroll and worksmen, like just making sure that they're insured, and covered under the place and then trusting them, and training them. I don't know. There's so much involved where it's like, I'll just do it. I'll just work more.
Plus, there's a reson why that, like, if you've ever seen the movie, what's it, Founders with Michael Keaton, Ray Kroc, and like I said, we own the franchise. They got 7%, but not of the profit. 7% of whatever came in, they got 7%. So I'm like going, well, why are you getting 7% of? I go, I didn't make. So say I charge $1. I might get like 40 cents profit on that. They're getting 7%. They get 7% of the dollar, not the 40 cents.
Mhm.
So after 7 years of struggling, I said, heck with it. I said something else. I said, we're just going to stop paying them. What's the worst they're going to do?
Take away
Right.
your franchise. Yeah.
Well, they said, they threatened us. So we're going to take away your franchise. I go ahead. So we changed it from mailbox, etc., to Lakeside mailboxes. And they sent a whole thing. They sent out a nationwide fax to everybody, all the franchises. I was franchise 667, but they sent there's like 2,000 franchises at that time, saying this guy is no longer blah 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 blah. I must have had like 20 calls that day asking me how I got out of being a franchise.
Oh wow!
I said stop paying them.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely did nothing for me, because I had a store in El Cajon. The guy kept advertising in my parking lot. And I kept saying, hey, can you stop this guy from advertising in my park? He was offering like coupons to go to his store. I go, and they said, well, we can try. I go, well, what am I paying you for? This is my territory. What am I paying you for? And they didn't do it. Eventually that guy got in trouble because they had a colored printer. They were copying the stamps and selling U.S. postage stamps that were counterfeit.
Yeah.
It's a federal offense.
Yep. So anyway, that's how they finally stopped. But I was like, I said, this sucks. We're dying here, and I just keep paying them, and they did absolutely nothing for us. So,
Jack, you realize you were one more than 666?
I know. Well, the store I used to call it 666.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of
it was because I know that the landlord, the property manager we had was just a jerk, and he came in one day and he came in and he goes, "Hey, big guy, how's it going?" I go, "Do I owe you money?" He goes, "No." I go, "Then get the F out." Because his assistant called one time. She goes, "Oh no, he's not that bad." I go, "If he got hit by a car out here, I would let him die."
Wow.
I go out there with a glass of water and drink it in front of him.
Oh man!
Because what happened was that we found out that we used to have to pay for common area, and we were anchored with it was a Lucky's grocery store, like an Alpha Beta, but like a Vons or whatever, like a Kroger's, whatever we have out here.
Sure.
They didn't pay anything. They used to repave the parking lot once a year, but the management company, whatever the management company charges for like trash dumping and all the different stuff, they got 30%, whatever the bill was. Their goal was to make the bill as high as possible. So I'm looking at the bill and I go, why are we getting the trash picked every day when I just have a small can that I could take to my house and dump? I go, why? So basically I got all the small stores together, and we started saying, look, we want this taken off. So I hurt their business. And in fact, I went to the owner came and talked to me because we had to pay the property tax.
Oh yeah.
So I said, okay, at that time, the economy, it was early 90s, was tanking. But the property was up here. So I said, we're going to have the property reassessed, so it would lower our costs. Well, the owner came to me and said, hey, look, what can I do to get you to stop doing this? I go, well, give me a couple of free months rent. And so we got some deals worked out, but the property manager didn't like me for that because it cut into his bottom line. So he made my life a living hell. So if it may sound like I'm cold.
No, I mean, that's rough though. I mean, especially like just running a business when you're dealing with a landlord that's trying to screw you over. I mean, that's
I would say the next time you tell the story, I would lead with that before saying you'd watch him die.
Now, probably I wouldn't watch him die. I mean, I have, but I couldn't stand it.
You'd walk out there and drink a glass of water over his dying body.
Yep. Hey, this guy was a jerk. This guy was just an a-hole. I mean, he was just a jerk. Doug Minton, Doug something. I used to call him something else, but anyway.
Well, to all you Dougs out there, suck it.
Yeah, suck it, Doug.
Suck it, Doug. Episode title.
Better not get hit by a car when I'm around, Doug. There are other people there. Someone else would have called 911, I'm sure.
There's always all of these things that just continually nitpick business, like to death. There's tons of different vultures. I mean, like the credit card processing.
Oh yeah,
thing.
It's ridiculous.
Every day, I have more calls about our credit card processing fees than I do actual customers, and that's frustrating.
I had someone from the state come in, and I had a scale that worked. It works perfectly, but it doesn't have a digital readout. I go, like, it didn't have little digital numbers. I go, why does it have to that? It took to the computer. You have to get a scale. I go, well, that's like $1,200. But this scale, so I had to get a new scale of $1,200. And I wasn't making. We were losing money. I go, you're killing me. The fire department would come in. They every year they'd come in and find something different. I go, why don't you guys go around? The store doesn't change. Find out what's wrong. I'll fix it all at once. And they go, your fire extinguisher has expired. I go, you think if a fire broke out, I would actually put it out.
That's what you're here for.
and they looked at me. I go, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. As I'm throwing gasoline on it, burn, baby, burn. So yeah, I've owned a franchise. Yeah, I'll skip being it, even though Chick-fil-A sounds enticing. I'll forget. I'll pass.
I don't know. Like I don't know if Chris has ever had one. I'm sure Matt's had one. Like Zaxby's is probably the one I would want to get into right now.
I've not had a Zaxby's.
Zaxby's better.
Yeah,
when I was down in North Carolina.
It's out of Atlanta, just like Chick-fil-A is, and it's chicken tenders and fries and Texas toast, and it's good.
We had it like 3 times last week when I couldn't open up my mouth because the chicken tenders I could crumble up and eat. Yeah,
I think that was the one that had the biscuits, right? Like they're known for their biscuits.
That's Bojangles.
Bojangles, yeah, and Popeyes has biscuits too.
That's Jay's favorite place, Bojangles.
But I thought Zaxby's had the fresh eggs. They have fresh eggs, maybe?
They might.
Okay.
Zaxby's a place where I talked about on the podcast a while ago when we were driving to New York that we waited 45 minutes.
Right.
In Virginia.
I believe it was Zaxby's that had the best egg and biscuit sandwich on the way down to Raleigh. I sampled like 3 different.
Maybe they have something for breakfast, yeah, but I don't recall a biscuit. But
I just know Bojangles is famous for their biscuit. Except their pork chop biscuit. It's very dry.
A pork chop being dry? No.
The biscuit was terrible.
Actually, so my company won an award. The conference I was at yesterday, our company won in one of our
best biscuits.
No, but pretty close. But we won an award in one of our not affiliates, but people who try to sell us crap. Vendors, yeah. They took us all out, our whole team out for dinner at this really, really nice restaurant in the what's the hotel one with the Rose one that we used to Jackie used to do the Santa Rosa room, that hotel.
Hilton.
The Hilton. So there's a restaurant in there called Roy's that's really nice. I didn't even know it was there. Every single thing on the menu is $40 or more. And of course, I felt guilty. They were just like, get what you want, get what you want. I'm just like, dude, you're gonna be dropping like $2 or $3 grand on this dinner.
I'm getting stuff to go.
Yeah,
I'm rooming with Cliff next week. I need to eat.
Nick, you are also known as a tax write-off to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whoa. Yeah. But yeah, like that's what it was like. I was looking through it all. They had an $88 bone-in steak.
So you got it right.
And I was like, wow. But I went cheap and went with the
pork chops.
That's what I was going to. Yeah, I did that. I noticed they had a pork chop on the menu, and I immediately thought of Jack. I was like, I had Jack. Out of all these things on this menu, Jack would get the pork chop.
It depends on because I've been to places where I won't eat like Angus Barn. Their pork chop sucked.
I'll tell you, I will never, ever, ever pay $40 for a pork chop.
No.
I paid $57 for the pork chop.
I went with the shellfish sampler. So I got a lobster, crab legs, scallops, shrimp, like all this stuff. I was like, why not?
I would have gone with the 88 bone-in steak.
I don't think anybody actually went with that one because it was some. My boss and another guy went with the the New York strip that was $48. So
you said whatever I wanted.
Yeah. All the desserts were made to order. And so, like, when you said, like, that'll be an 18-minute wait for your dessert because we have to make it from scratch. I'm like, geez, this place is fancy.
18-minute wait?
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm not waiting. I'm out of here.
Because it was all, like, pineapple upside-down cake and souffles and all these like fancy desserts.
Oh, so it wasn't like you could just make up your dessert. Like I want birthday cake.
No, I want you to go back. Yeah, and I don't know. I can't think of it as a fancy dessert, but yeah, exactly. We make it from scratch.
But it's not even a.
We actually make our ice cream. You know, milk the cow. We milk the cow. Get the cream.
We churn it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a random association for restaurants, though. So on vacation, my buddy Tyler, he has like I don't know if you know anybody who has like their feet are like hands where they have like crazy long toes.
Oh yeah,
my buddy Tyler's got these feet that like he can literally like work like hands. He can pick up anything he wants. So then he was, we're sitting by the fire and he was grossing out my wife and all the women that were there. but he was doing this thing where he would pick up the sand, and I called him out on it because he didn't realize he was doing it. But he was picking up sand, like sprinkling it, and he reminded me of the Salt Bay. Now, do you guys know who Salt Bay is?
Yeah, the Salt Bay with the meme. The meme.
Nusret Gochik, I think his name, or Gochich. He's a restaurateur in like Abu Dhabi. But he does the whole like sprinkles the salt off his forearm. If you haven't seen it, Google Salt Bay. You gotta check it out. But he's opening up a restaurant in New York, as well as L.A. Nick, so he's
pork chops?
No, well maybe, but he's definitely known for steak.
Okay.
If you haven't seen who he is,
Salt Bay,
BAE. Like make sure you watch the original video. Like he got overnight internet famous from his videos. Of how like the charisma that he has when he cuts steak and his flamboyant presentation of steak. But he's
here's a question: would Matt like to podcast with him?
Well, he doesn't speak English.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, he probably would. But anyways, so he's got like this multi-million-dollar like steak restaurant chain like in Abu Dhabi and a couple of other places. But it looks like he's opening up a steak restaurant in both LA and in New York.
Do you know what the name of it they are? What the name of the steak restaurants?
I think it's Nusret, like Nusret. That's his first name. But the dude's a riot. You start watching his videos, you start going down a rabbit hole of all the different videos he has of him cutting meat. You'll never be more entertained by someone cutting a steak than this guy.
But he doesn't speak English.
No.
You just like him because he's entertaining.
You will see why I like him once you start watching his videos. It's mesmerizing. It's weird.
All right, I will check it out.
Anyway,
I'll listen to Matt's podcast when he's on.
Yeah, but he's opening up some restaurants in LA and New York, which I'm pretty excited about because hopefully I can. Probably super expensive.
Well, I was going to say it's probably expensive. It's especially New York. I mean, everything in New York's expensive.
I believe maybe it's already opened. Oh, ooh, it is open. It's open in New York.
In New York, okay.
Oh my God.
What about Los Angeles? Maybe the Chargers can offer some kind of special. For every win, you get like a free appetizer at this restaurant.
Not yet. Salt Bay hamburger chain's coming to L.A.
He does hamburgers.
Oh, it looks like Salt Bay's L.A. restaurant will open in the Arts District.
Oh, okay. That's not too far from me.
But his restaurant is called Nusret. It's Nusr-et.
Phone home.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of votes at that restaurant.
Yeah, it just got an ET rating.
But that's a good segue. Last week we did the verses. Chris, you weren't here.
No.
Someone said, I think Dan suggested that we should have, someone should have picked Please Come to Boston.
What?
There's a song, Please Come to Boston.
Oh, good song.
I picked Shipping Up to Boston for you, Boston. But
little Dropkick Murphys?
Dropkick Murphy, but it didn't get included in the list for some reason.
Wait, what was the theme?
Our personal favorite
one-hit wonders.
One-hit wonders, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count because Dropkick Murphys have multiple albums of popular songs.
But a charted hit.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think one hit one. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Well, either way. So it was probably the closest competition we've had in some time.
Yeah,
And-
all of us were number one at one
All right.
point. Yeah.
Who did you guys all pick?
Are they going to decide who? You know who?
Let's just name the songs and let's see if Boston can guess who picked what.
All right.
Okay.
You know all three, Matt, Nick.
I know yours and I's. I'm not sure if I can remember. I remember the artist that Matt picked. I don't remember the name of the song.
Matt, do you know all three?
I believe I do. Yes.
Okay. Let Matt, you name all three.
All right. So there was No Rain by Blind Melon. And there was I'll Melt With You by Modern English. And there was Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum.
Good job.
I was just trying to be as vague as possible.
Oh, there's only three of you, right?
Yeah, there was only three of us. And I'm curious as to what your one-hit wonder would have been, because we were going to pick that night.
I would say Take On Me by Aha.
Okay.
That was Matt. That was one of Matt's. He thought about it.
And Jack.
I had that second or third.
Yep.
And brief segue. Have you guys listened to the unplugged version of it, which happens to now be being repopularized because it's on the Deadpool soundtrack?
Yeah, we talked about it like right when Deadpool came out.
Yeah.
But did we?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they did actually have another hit with the Living Daylights. So I don't know if that like kind of makes them a two-hit wonder.
Was that
So.
was it the soundtrack for James Bond?
Yeah, the Living Daylights. Yeah.
I don't remember the
So.
song.
Interesting.
Wasn't that Adele?
I don't know if it charted.
I will
don't know how. I don't know if it
I will
charted,
switch
but
my pick.
Okay.
I will say the biggest one-hit wonder, probably of all time, is going to be Bop by Hanson.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Bop.
Because again, I think I've said this before. There are two different types of people in this world: people who like Bop and liars.
Well, see, the liars wouldn't vote for it.
Fair enough.
So that's the problem. They wouldn't. It probably went in a landslide, but they wouldn't vote for it. That's. So who do you think got the most votes? What song?
Let me see if I can line up the songs of the people. So we had Spirit in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
You had Blind Melon, No Rain.
Yep.
And what was the third?
I Melt With You by Modern English.
Melt With You is going to be by Jack. Spirit in the Sky is going to be Matt. And Blind Melon will be Nick.
It's pretty close. So flip Jack and ours around. So
Okay,
I'm
all right.
Melt With You.
Spirit in the sky.
Spirit in the sky.
Dun, 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 when I die. So, what you want to know? Who do you think won? What song do you think won?
Oh,
It was like I said. Nick said at one point, everybody was in first place.
Everybody's in the first place at one point. Yeah.
At one point,
going
and
by.
at one point, it was a three-way tie, just like 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Spirit in the Sky probably won.
You are correct.
I think you looked. I think you cheated.
Spirit in the Sky.
I did not look.
Rigged
Who had Spirit in the Sky? This guy.
And here's why I feel that way. I feel like the Spirit in the Sky is probably the closest. Thinking of our listening audience, which is all pretty much Lost fans. Spirit in the Sky is probably the closest to resembling like a Geronimo Jackson / Three Dog Night type of song, which I think people would probably be akin to.
I also think that a lot of people were just really happy that Jack lived, and so they were like,
Sympathy
So
vote.
you think I got the pity vote?
Pity vote.
You know,
Yeah.
I got a few pity votes, but I think when I started posting a link of how many movies and how many TV shows Spirit in the Sky has been in, it is an amazing list of how many. It's amazing.
I should have done a little bit more politicking on my own.
Yeah, I waited till the end.
Yeah.
I kept quiet to the end, and then I went all out, bam. And then Nick tried to, I guess, what Raising Arizona was yours, Nick, or was it Matt's?
No, I didn't do
'Cause
it.
I said one movie.
Oh, that was that
someone
one.
did it.
Yeah, it was
Someone did it. Someone did. It was Christy, I think, did it for you,
For
Matt.
Matt,
And I was like,
for Matt.
Oh, thanks.
I go one movie.
I think it was also in Donnie Darko too, but maybe I'm thinking of some other.
All right, two movies.
Yeah.
Mine didn't need a movie. Mine's just that good.
Spirit in the Sky. And I made a good point. I said in 30, 40 years, we'll still be hearing Spirit in the Sky. The other two will be, I don't know. Never heard from them again.
Blind Melon's a great band, man. And that's unfortunate. I mean, their music is actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
No Rain's the only one that hit the charts, but had Shannon Hoon not been a dumbass and gotten hooked on the old
Heroin.
Hey around, could have been an amazing artist.
Yeah, I kind of said that when I was talking about the song, is that, you know, in the middle of the grunge era, you know, you have this band that was very 70s-ish and just hippie-ish, and No Rain's a great song.
Yeah.
They were all good. They were all good. I mean, it was hard to. I couldn't piss on any song because they were all good songs.
Yeah, we didn't really slam one another.
None of us pulled a J and just slammed for no sake. I mean, it was just you couldn't. I mean, they're all good songs.
Well, there's a one-hit wonder, "Slam" by Onyx.
I'm trying to think of what Jay would have picked too, because it would have been like the safest.
I'm picking from something from the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's funny though when I
only had one. I'll pick Ringo. Like, Come Easy. It's his charted hit. That's it.
When I was looking for songs for Spirit in the Sky, I saw the Bangles, and they had a VH1 special. Uh-huh. And I used to like the Bangles. I like the lead singer,
of course,
and like most people.
Yeah.
And they were great. I didn't realize. I watched the whole thing, the VH1 thing. I didn't realize they broke up because of jealousy and all that. I didn't realize. I just thought they stopped recording.
Yeah,
I figured they just stopped. But what's it? So it was turmoil and all that different stuff and jealousy because one person was getting all the attention, and I didn't realize they were that popular as they were. But their best song they're known for is "Walk Like an Egyptian," and they all hate it.
Yeah, Eternal Flame.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, Eternal Flame because it wasn't. That's what really, I guess, pushed them over the top. Yeah. But if you haven't seen it, it's a very interesting.
I've got. I just thought of one. The Verve.
Oh yeah,
Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Very bittersweet because that was their one-hit wonder, and it's the one song they made no money off of.
Yeah.
No. Really?
Because they stole the hook from an unreleased Stones song. And they got their pantsuit off. They literally made no money off of that song.
No, it's not. It was one of the early Stones hits. They took it. It's like a middle section of the Stone. I mean, it's unintentional.
So would the Stones suit them?
Yeah. Or then, they did. It's what is it? It's like it's either Play with Fire or it's one of the early hits.
I can't get
the last time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
This would be the last time. Yeah,
this is a good song on its own. It's weird because they sound completely different to me. Like even in my mind, like the feelings that those two.
Well, it's like this happened just a couple years ago. I forget. I don't even know the guy who did it, but it's just so common these days where people borrowing and unintentionally copying. Some guy who put a hook in. It was the exact same hook as "Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty.
Sure.
And Tom Petty, being Tom Petty, he's just real cool. He's like, he just basically wrote a guy a letter and he said, "Hey, like, I'm not going to sue you. Just give me like 12% of the royalties and we're good, And the guy was like, okay. He admitted to it. He's like, okay. He goes, yeah, I didn't mean to do it, but I see your point. And then that was it.
That's the way to handle it.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, what's his name? That ripped off Marvin Gaye a couple years ago and would not admit it.
I know who you're talking. We talked about this before.
We did talk about it. Yeah.
Don't.
Was it Pharaoh or whatever his name is? And then it'll hit me in a second.
What are you talking about?
The song was "Got to Give It Up" by Marvin Gaye, and then it was "Blurred Lines." "Blurred Lines" was the Marvin Thicke, yeah.
Robin
Thicke. Yeah, I mean, it was a blatant copy of "Got to Give It Up" by Marvin Gaye, and he would not admit it. And it's just like, dude, like everybody knows it, that knows music. I think I even talked about that the other day, a few podcasts back, where the girl that I work with that was 26, was like talking about. I heard the beat and I was like, "Oh, it's Talking Heads," and she's like, "No, this is Selena Gomez." And I kept listening to. All I could hear was the bass line. I was like, "This is Talking Heads," and she's like, "No, this is Selena Gomez." And finally, I heard Selena Gomez's vocals. And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "They're totally ripping off the Talking Heads right now." And of course, she went, "Who's the Talking Heads?" And then I was just like, "Whatever."
Looks like Vanilla Ice did his.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, more recently, actually, Childish Gambino is being looked at, right? So for
This Is America.
This Is America is eerily similar to a song called American Pharaoh by
I think if you're
Jace Harley.
If you're going to be if you're going to rip someone off, have it be unsuccessful.
Yeah,
because then no one would care. There's time. I remember when Ray Parker Jr. Huey Lewis sued Ray Parker Jr. over Ghostbusters.
Right.
I was like, I want a new drug.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like going, all right, I'm not a music guy, but I'm not seeing it.
Well, it's the same as George Harrison got sued for My Sweet Lord because it's too much like He's So Fine. It's the same hook but different chords.
But I just with all the songs out there, I mean, how many different ways can you play something, right?
Well, it's really just about how many different lawyers can sue you. So it's kind of a broader kind of.
You're going to sue me. You get hit by a car, I'll let you die.
It will be interesting. Like the copyrights on songs are. It's 100 years, I think, after you die in America, and 50 years in the UK after you die. So it's kind of like how anyone can do Beethoven, and not get sued because it's past all that. And same as imagine, we'll be dead by that point too. But
did Beethoven copyright his stuff?
There was no such thing as a copyright.
I was going to say,
but just
Dun, 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 dun. It's copyright. I got a copyright.
But that's why you could do that. Like you could write a song right now, Jack, and put da 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 in the very beginning of the song, and no one can touch it.
Suck it! You can't sue me
because it's public.
Right, I'm gonna do that right now.
Yeah.
Or you could just turn it into disco like they did in the 70s.
Yeah.
So.
Disco. How many songs can we have a 4/4 beat to?
I like that song though.
The disco version.
Yeah.
It's got a cool beat.
It's good. It's got a good. It's good.
It has its place on. So Jack, you're the winner of the one hit wonder.
Yeah, I am the winner of the one hit wonders. Thanks for playing, everyone. Thanks for voting. I don't even care if it was a pity vote. I won.
You win one more. That's called 2 in a row.
Well, it's funny. It started out slow.
It did. It really did.
Because I think I'm looking at the numbers. I think people went back and listened to the old podcast again, the one before where I fall, because the numbers shot up a little bit for that one. So I think people went back and listened to that one, and then came back and listened to finish this one, the one with the verses on it. But
yeah, because it's basically part 1 and part 2.
Right. So. Whatever it takes to get ratings, that's all. We're all about ratings, right? All about the numbers.
All about the numbies.
Oh, I still have things to talk about from weeks ago. Did anybody see Jurassic World yet? The second one?
No.
Okay, then I'll scratch that one off.
Well, what did you think of it?
I didn't like it. And it's like I don't know. I put too much pressure on a Jurassic movie. I thought the action was just fine. If you're expecting just running and dinosaurs chasing and eating people, then that's your movie. But as far as the plot, it was really weak. And
the first remake, I like Chris Pratt, but I just it's okay.
But that one's way better than this one.
But it's still not. It's okay. Do we need another Jurassic? Do we need it? Just show the original again. Open up the theater, show the original one again. I'd pay to go see that one other than see this stuff.
By the way, it's on Netflix too, the Jurassic Park right now.
Oh, the original?
The original?
The original.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent. That's just an excellent movie. Yeah. The first one.
In this new one, though, there is one scene that's really good. That it's basically they're evacuating the island, and there's one dinosaur that's left on the island.
Again?
Yeah. Again.
Okay.
It's basically they remade the second one, Jurassic Park again, but it's not. It's not, but it is. And
pass.
Yeah. And, but anyway, I won't get into that.
Just stop.
I did hear a really good Infinity War / Odin theory / Ragnarok thing that I thought was just superb. Theory.
Ragnarok. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Randork. Yeah. So, and I actually want to believe it. I actually want to go like, this is just something they haven't shown yet, or they didn't think to put in. But you know how in Ragnarok you have Hela kind of give a little bit of backstory of what Odin did before he became good. And that's all you get. And Odin basically is just in Norway hanging out and then dies, and that's all you get. But the theory is, everyone's seen Infinity War now, right?
No, I haven't. But go ahead. Just
I have. But go ahead.
When am I going to go see this movie? It's its own thing.
I don't know. Maybe one of the times that the rest of the 5 billion people in this world had gone to see it.
I got a life with other things to do.
Other podcasts to record.
I don't think I've seen Infinity Wars either. So
okay. Well, anyway, okay. So
Matt is so mad.
What?
all you need to know is, Thanos, who's the bad guy, wants to get all.
We know Spanos is the bad guy. Moved the Chargers to San Diego.
Thanos.
Dick.
That was intentional. Yeah, Spanos. That was the whole goal.
Weasel.
Yeah, but he wants to get all these Infinity Stones so he can snap his fingers and wipe out half of the people, living creatures in the entire galaxy universe. But you'll notice. Okay, so the last stone he has to get is called the Soul Stone. And in order to get the Soul Stone, he must sacrifice the thing he loves the most to get it. But if you notice in the movie, as soon as he gets it, his character changes just a little subtly. Like he cries at one point, he doesn't kill anybody. And when he goes to Wakanda, like he doesn't kill anybody that he doesn't have to. And so the theory is that the Soul Stone, once you get it, it connects you with every living creature in the entire universe, and so you feel empathy for everything, which changes the way that you think. So going to Odin, so you've all seen Ragnarok. I know Jack has.
Sure.
Okay. So
I saw Ragdork.
Yeah, Randork. Yeah. So
Randork, whatever it was.
The theory is that Odin was trying to get the Infinity Stones himself. And we know that he had the time one, which was the cosmic cube, and he had the reality stone. He had 2, and he hid those. Well, the theory is that he actually did as well possess the Soul Stone. But when he got it, first, the thing he had to sacrifice was Hela's mother. Because, she's a half-sister to Thor, not his full sister. And so as soon as he got the Soul Stone, it connected him, and he felt that was wrong. And so that's why he became the protector of the 9 realms and stopped at 9. And I was like, oh, I just liked it. It's a good theory. And
nice way to connect the two.
Connect the two, yes. And I was like, man, they should have put that into Ragnarok. It would have been a really cool addition.
Maybe it'll be on the next one, Ragnarok 2.
Yeah. The return of Randork.
Starring Chris Pratt.
Randork ran.
Randork ran.
Yeah, as opposed to run. Anyway.
Are there any movies coming out other than what I mean? Are there movies out there on the horizon that
we have? Ant-Man and Wasp out right now, and then Captain Marvel comes out in March of next year, and then the second.
But I'm talking about summer. I mean, summer blockbusters.
Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. This might be a weak summer, actually. I can't think of anything that's like a must see.
I don't know.
If only Solo would have been released in August,
which would have made sense.
Yeah.
Or December.
December. Yeah.
So.
But not when it was released in March, May.
Incredibles.
May.
Incredibles.
Incredibles 2, like I said.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah. Well, Matt had time to see that, right?
Yeah, because I went with my family to go see, Incredibles 2. So
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I wanted to see Sicario 2.
Sicario too.
because Sicario was a phenomenal movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not.
Mm-mm.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, you never heard of Sicario?
I don't think so.
Sicario is it's a great flick with this came out I think 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. I don't even know how long ago it was. But Josh Brolin, also known as Thanos / Brand from the Goonies. And Benicio del Toro. The first one also had what's her name in it? Jim from The Office, his husband or wife rather.
Fisher.
Yeah.
No,
Fisher.
No, in real life.
Blunt.
Emily
Yes. It's about the South American and Mexican drug cartels.
Oh, I would like to see that.
It's such a good flick. If you haven't seen it, Jack, you'd love it. It's a very, very good movie. And there's a sequel that came out last week that I wanted to see it. Sicario 2, Soldado. You like that?
I will.
Soldado.
Speaking of stuff you need to see, you might not have time yet. Did you watch Das Boot yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I got my Blu-ray though.
You got it. I know you got it in, but yeah.
I definitely got it in. What?
I finished Vietnam on Netflix. Ken Burns special. I think Matt, you watched the first episode.
I was watching the first episode today, so right before the World Cup too, right before the World Cup game. So I was kind of like, man, I can't believe I was rooting for France. Now I'm really mad at France. So
France. It's really France's fault.
Well, I mean, I like the one, and again, I only have seen the first episode, but I like the, and I can't. I mean, there's lots of people that are on there talking, and I was doing some work things while it was on, so you know,
it's just an amazing. It's like I said, I watched it. There was stuff that I already knew, stuff that I'd forgotten, stuff that I didn't know. I'm trying to think who I feel worse for. You have the people that were drafted.
I think Vietnam. I think just the Vietnam people. I mean, they lost the most amount of casualties in the war.
2 million people overall.
Was it 2 million?
Over 30 years. Over 30. They've been fighting since 45.
Yeah.
With the French and everybody else. But if you watch it, because you go from Kennedy to Johnson to Nixon, and they all knew that they couldn't win.
Yep.
They knew it. They said, we cannot win this war, yet they kept fighting, especially Johnson. They kept escalating it when they knew they couldn't win the war. And then, of course, Nixon comes in, and he's Nixon.
Well, the one guy that was just the first U.S., what was he, OSS at that time? That was there, the officer that basically was like, look, this is unwinnable. We shouldn't even mess with this.
Yeah.
And he was on the side of like basically leaving Vietnam, and then he was murdered. So before he could
it was such a CF.
Yeah.
And going in, it was so terrible, but I always felt bad for the guys that went there, volunteered to go there, thinking I'm going there to fight for America. And here they are, the leaders of America are basically saying, screw you, you're going to die anyway and not going to win.
Yeah.
Kept lying to. So I feel bad for everybody. I mean, anyone had
so caught up on the whole communist thing that I think the one
the
guy,
Red Scare.
Yeah, the one guy pointed out, if they had only understood that this was something that was happening across Asia, was basically denouncing colonialism. You know, and that was basically what it was. But we were so caught up in the whole Red Scare thing that we saw it as like this linchpin for.
Well, no one wanted to be the person to let communism take over another country. So that it just was such a. It should be mandatory that this film should be the 10-part series should be shown in schools. Yeah. Kids should have to watch. I mean, as gross as it and gruesome it is and depressing as it is.
Yeah,
I think it should be mandatory that people watch this movie because it's this miniseries because it's excellent. I mean, it's long. Each episode's like an hour and 50 minutes. So I would like break. I'd like go half and half. Sometimes I watch the whole thing, one episode. But it's just mind boggling that our leaders let this happen.
Well, what's interesting to me, I agree. It's a great series. But like one of the conditions that FDR told Churchill, and when we finally got into the war, was that we're not here to defend your empire, and so once this is over, you're going to have to get rid of them, which they did slowly, over the next 20 years after World War II. But I guess France didn't get the memo.
Yeah, France said no, we're not giving it. But that's what it just was. It's such a mess, and just I don't know.
But I agree. Because I always believed that too, and I still believe that. It was a civil war between the Vietnamese. They wanted the freedom, let them have it.
Right.
But the whole Red Scare was the lie they told us. But then over the last couple of years, I've met a lot of people from India, and especially of your generation, Jack, and older, they all really like that we were in Vietnam. Because I never thought about it from that point of view, but they were like, think about it. We just got our independence in 1947. We were tearing each other apart between, at the time, East Pakistan and Pakistan. It's like we were very vulnerable. If the red, communists would have kept going, if no one would have opposed them, India could have easily had gone to communism. And so that stopped it. And so I'm like, oh, so did the domino theory really work or not? And that's one of the things that you could debate. You never know.
Everyone was putting their China, Russia, and the United States were all putting their resources into Vietnam.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. But if we just wouldn't have done anything, would have Vietnam just collapsed into communism and then gone to Laos and Cambodia, to Thailand, to India? We'll never know.
But as you learned on this miniseries, that the South Korean government was so corrupt.
You mean South Vietnam? Yeah.
South Vietnam. South Korea. South Vietnam was so corrupt that we should have no way have been supporting those people.
No, of course not.
Just because, not the people of South Vietnam, but I'm saying the leaders, because they were so. We were sending them money. They're taking the money. It's just typical where it's not trickling down to the poor people. If we just would have spent the money on Vietnam that we spent on the war, what $100 billion or whatever it was back in the 60s.
Yeah, I 70s. Think it was a no-win scenario though, because if you're giving people that like North Vietnamese, if you're giving people that have no education, no money, and you're saying, hey, I guarantee your family's going to be fed, your kids are going to get educated. All I need you to do is take this rifle and go fight for your independence, versus trying to do it through capitalism, which takes a lot longer to do.
Well, I'm saying build infrastructure, build upgrade, but we should have just stayed out,
right?
And said, you're on your own. We don't belong here. We can't. But like I said, the thing that they knew they couldn't win is what stuck out in my mind the most. That Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon all knew they couldn't win.
Right.
And Nixon, of course, screwed up the peace talks. And Eisenhower. But it's a one event where both sides can't point fingers at the other side because both sides were wrong.
Oh yeah. You need to, as a follow-up, if you can find it on Netflix, as a 2004 documentary called The Fog of War.
The Fog of War?
The Fog of War. It's Robert McNamara, and it's it's really good. And it's not just about that, but it talks about that, how they were wrong, and how he approached things and how he fought. He was naive when he was under Kennedy, and then he fought tooth and nail against LBJ, and that's why he ended up having a nervous breakdown and quit.
Yeah,
it's a good documentary. Yeah.
I'll check it out. Anything else going on, guys? We ready to wrap up?
I was going to say, so loosely associated. When I first walked into the cottage that we rented this year, the first thing I saw and was greeted upon was a oil painting of JFK on the beach in Cape Cod.
I saw you share that. Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. Hang on.
I remember it now. Yeah, because I was making a joke which you didn't respond to.
But this might be copyright infringement, or not.
I remember. I made the comment. If you saw it, Chris, I said, "Oh, a great painting of Mickey Rourke."
I didn't see that. No,
being a jerk.
So I took a picture of it, and my buddies and I were at a bar one day. On Friday.
So you left the beach with beer to go to a bar? We lost Chris.
Yeah, I think you're.
Can't hear you.
It kind of got a little. Yeah, he's fixing it.
I'm going to tell the story. Yes.
Yes. We can hear you now.
Okay, cool. So we went to the bar to watch the World Cup, and we're sitting there like, "Oh, that painting's great. We should we should make T-shirts. So I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then so I'm sitting there at the bar, and 5 minutes later, I had placed an order for a bunch of T-shirts with JFK on. And they arrived today.
I think it's okay.
But, I mean,
unless
the artist's name is even right there, like right there in the painting. Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think as long as you're not selling them for profit, then you're
right.
fine.
I think you're okay. Yeah.
Great shirt though. Great quality shirt. The print came out perfectly. Looks just like the painting.
Just based on a photo?
Yeah, that's me taking a picture of the painting.
So that was painted before you went to Texas. Am I right?
Yeah, it was for sure.
What? Too soon? I'm sorry.
So yeah, that was.
It could have been painted afterwards. So
that's true.
That was an idea that came up after having a few
Coronas,
nights watching some soccer, and came out to be a pretty good idea.
It's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's my mom's favorite, Kennedy.
He's the man.
Kennedy. Well, he's not the man in the Vietnam thing, though.
No. The last time this country was truly happy.
It's an interesting. Well, when were we ever happy? But it's interesting.
We're Americans. We're not supposed to be happy.
It is. It's one of those, like, a lot of people. At least I kind of think that too. It's like, America. The idea of America died on November 22nd, 1963.
Yep.
Because the illusion was gone after that. The innocence, the end of Camelot. It was, people have said, and then also the fact that LBJ and Nixon constantly lied to the American people. It made people not trust the government. From that point on. That's what
it was more than anything is, tragedy with Kennedy being assassinated, but it was followed by just 8 years of crap. Yeah. 9 years of crap. Well, go longer than that, because we forgot about Watergate. So.
Right. Yeah. Right, which added to the distrust and the mistrust of
and people have never trusted the government since. And
when Reagan was in office, when Reagan was in office, there was probably a higher point of trust. I think because Reagan and Kennedy had very similar
PR campaigns.
Well, but they could also related. They had a way about them when they spoke.
Yeah, they had charisma. So you had JFK, who was a made-for-TV president. Like, he was a stud. Granted, he may not have been, whatever. I mean, he's kind of a womanizer and the whole nine and blah blah blah. This and thing. You can go on and on about that, but people loved him. Like, absolutely, you loved him. Like, you think. I remember listening to
not everybody.
Most people loved JFK. Fair enough. But I mean, I'll never forget growing up and just hearing my grandmother and hearing like her talk about JFK. Like, that generation truly loved him.
I'll tell you this much: when I was alive, when he was born, that was my happiest time. I was one.
Yeah, but then. And it kind of happened again in a different light, and that was with Ronald Reagan. And Ronald Reagan was a charisma machine because he was a made for TV and movies president. Really, like, a former actor. He had the buy-in from so many people, and he had built the trust of the American people. And we haven't had since. Definitely since Reagan, we haven't had a president. I mean, you could say that about Obama. I think Obama had that on the right side of things. They're definitely not. He had an entire half of the country divided loved him, but Reagan. If you look at Reagan and Kennedy, like, they had across the board approval ratings that were nuts.
Yep. Well, thanks, LBJ and Nixon. Nixon has some freakishly long arms.
He's a dick.
Dick Nixon.
Dick Nixon. Tricky Dick.
Well, anytime he does the peak, he goes, "I'm not a crook." Look how long his arms are.
Yeah.
He just has some long. And that guy, he was a crook. He was a. I mean, it's funny is the Watergate thing. He didn't have to do it. That's the thing. He was going to win. He was going to win no matter what.
Yeah, he could have gotten away scot-free, and just it's him trying to cover it up. That's what got him.
Well, they didn't have to do the break-in. That's what I'm saying. And then you forget about the other stuff that you watch the Vietnam stuff. You think, oh, what a dweeb. I mean, what a jerk this guy is. But he could have gone down without Watergate. He probably goes down as a top 10, 15 president.
And foreign policy, Nixon is an excellent president.
Yeah.
But everything else is just god awful.
Yeah. He just was terrible, corrupt. Anything to win. All right. That's all I got. You got anything, Matt, you want to add?
You had a story. Yeah, you said you had a story when Chris cut out, and then you didn't say it.
I don't remember that. So the story, but I've been watching Glow. So if you've been enjoying 80s and Reagan era stuff, I'm on season 2.
I just finished season 2 last night.
Yep, I did too.
I remember when season 1 came out, Jack, you said that it was slow for the first few episodes, but then you really got into it. Is that still?
And the same thing for season 2.
Okay,
really?
First couple episodes, I wasn't really into it, and then it really picks up steam.
Okay.
For me, I don't know if I was just bored because I was watching Vietnam. What I do is I'd watch an episode of Vietnam, then watch Glow.
Yeah, that's a bit
maybe I wasn't in the mood for it.
Right.
I've been trying to get through. I watched Cheers from season 6 to the end. Now I'm watching season 1. Season 1 is just not that good of Cheers.
Yeah.
It's just not. I keep saying that. I struggled through almost every episode. And I think because they changed in season 1, it was basically just one storyline for the whole episode, whereas later on they had different things going on. It'd be like 2 or 3 things going on with different characters, but this one it's like, oh my god. Anyway, little slow, but I'll get through it.
It's fair.
But Glow is good.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 2, and it definitely pulls in a lot of more 80s kind of stuff going on. So with the storyline with Bash. So, but good stuff though. So a lot of it, I always wonder, like, okay, how much is this based off of what actually happened, and how much have they taken those liberties and fabricated some other things? Because I remember when the first season came out, I read a little bit about the history of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. But since then, it was kind of like, well, I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to spoil myself on history if they stay close to this.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know if it's what happened at the end actually happened.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they did that so they could have a third season.
I don't think it's spoilers, but there is an episode, a full episode in this season, which is nice because it's actually the show. So you get to watch like a whole episode of Glow as though it was the show. You know what I'm talking about, Jack?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I thought that was fun. I don't know what you think.
It might have been my favorite episode.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah.
Anyway,
that's my and Jack's glowing review of Glow. So
that's it. And we're taking next week off because 2 of us will be out of town. We'll be in San Diego.
That's right.
Comic-Con. My kids are grown up now, I can go. So drinking up, having fun, sweating. Yeah, hopefully it's cool because it was overcast yesterday and it was nice. It was like 72 the whole time. Well, earlier this week they were hitting 100. Yeah, I said, "Oh my God, please don't be 100." Because I stay with my mom, no air conditioning. Brutal. The thing is, I don't know if there's going to be a lot to do. Like, a lot of the major people aren't going to be there. Like Marvel's not going to be there. No. HBO won't be there. Stars won't be there. So I'm curious, what's going to be the these people just don't want to pay the fees. I have no idea why they dropped out. I know HBO's because they don't have anything coming out right now other than Succession or yeah. You guys still watching that? Still watching it. Yeah, this Sunday was good. I think it was the best episode was last night. Yeah.
I am not caught up.
Yeah, you'll like it, Chris. It's good. It was one of those where you thought it might go one way and then it doesn't, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, this is going to get interesting."
Nice.
You better be smelling your armpit.
Yeah, right.
So true.
Well, I don't know if that's spoiling, but it was the funniest line of the episode.
Yeah.
And eating birds.
Eating birds.
eating birds
Did I miss that?
in the restaurant. Tom and what's his name?
Oh, right. Yeah, that was weird.
That was gross.
Yeah. Because Game of Thrones doesn't come back until April next year, so HBO doesn't have anything to really show, and Marvel doesn't have anything to show because Ant-Man and Wasp is out right now. So I guess
it's just going to be about comics.
Yeah,
Comic books.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
I always have. I usually just nowadays I just walk around the floor all the time and just see what random crap I can find.
I usually avoid everything, so that's just too many people.
Oh, I know. I remember like one of my first years I went and just spotted you just sitting in the middle of the hallway. I was like, "Hey, Jack," and you were just kind of like, "Hey," like you were over it. It was like day one, you were over it.
Was that my first time there?
No, it was either my first or second year, so it was probably 2009 or 10.
Was that the year it was really hot?
This is a decade ago, Jack. I don't remember.
I don't know. Chris, was it hot then?
I can't remember what the weather was last week.
I still remember that one year where I borrowed my mom's husband's truck and it wouldn't start at the Petco parking lot.
Ugh.
Just sitting out there sweating and waiting for him to come jump start or whatever he was coming out, AAA to come fix it. And that guy on the bike, the taxi bike, need a ride? Like the fifth time around, I go, "Don't ask me again."
My first year there was hot. I remember that. That was probably 08, maybe 07, 08. I can't remember which one it was. But I remember I was up on Mission Hill. I don't know what the hell. Claremont. I was staying at my buddy's house in Claremont.
That's where I grew up.
And it was I slept in a tent on his porch. And I remember just waking up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and just being covered in sweat because it was just so hot overnight. It was gross. And then finding a cab to get downtown.
Yeah, San Diego's no fun when the heat comes.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not often. Matt, you got to make it out to San Diego one of these years for Comic-Con.
Sure.
It's fun, Matt. Like everyone, even people out there listening, you need to go to Comic-Con at least once in your lifetime.
Yeah, no question.
You have to experience.
Yeah,
experience it.
It's really sometimes it's about timing of the year too. So, yeah, I live vicariously through hearing about other people's adventures.
We'll have stories, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a different.
I was just going to say, I suppose, you and Jack, Nick, you guys could go off and have your own Ramblecast podcast without us.
Live from the Comic-Con floor.
Yeah, I just don't feel right doing that.
Oh, really? Yeah, you would feel right.
You would have given us the heads up so we'd be aware of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would. In this day and age, I just go, so because we have that Ramblecast thread on Facebook message. Just go, hey, we're doing a
give you a little something for the effort.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like a messenger for all of us to be on the same page.
Yeah. Or text up. You can text up, but it takes time.
Hey, what can I say? I went rogue. All right. So
because a group text takes forever.
It does, and there's just all of the. Well, when can you do this? So, all right. I may never be on the Owen and Brews barbecue again with Nick and Chris, but enjoy our antics on the Ramblecast.
All right, we're just giving you crap.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I thought it would make for a good Ramblecast conversation,
and it did.
Yeah. So. May have just destroyed the podcast for future recordings, but hey, whatever.
You got to take one for
the force is uncooked at gmail.com.
I think you should, if you're going to do another one with Shandy, you should really shake things up and make her watch the Christmas special.
Oh no!
I'm trying to keep her enjoying the series. Well,
she said she wanted to see more female. I mean, you got B. Arthur in there, so
that's true. That's true.
I thought you said female.
Yeah.
Well, she does know that Leia is the only female, right?
At this point, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
So-
that doesn't change.
There's, I think, Taran.
You got Mon Mothma.
Yeah, and I think there's a Taran Far. I don't know her last name, but
I'm sure there's a few stormtroopers, right?
There's a woman in Empire Strikes Back. There's another woman in Empire Strikes Back. Just one.
Was Jar Jar a woman?
No.
No.
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And by the way, the prequels don't really add much more females.
No, they
Really, not much.
Well, that's not my fault.
Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman. That was it.
She's
Yeah.
a stunt double, so it doesn't.
Right.
It's still the same character.
Yeah, it's like a half.
And then and then you got what's her name? In episode 2, that was her handmaiden that Rose Byrne.
Oh, Dorme.
Yeah,
I
Dorme.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You had Baru.
Yeah. It's true.
if you play with fire, you're going to get burned.
Exactly.
So,
Now, Matt, did I ever tell you that theory that I really like, that stormtroopers are not the ones that killed Owen and Beru?
I don't.
I really
know
like
if
it.
it's
Because, like, you see it in Empire Strikes Back that Vader is not opposed to using bounty hunters. And so
Right.
that's the theory, is that he wasn't going to trust finding the droids just to stormtroopers who were constantly messing up. So he hired Boba Fett to find.
Oh.
So Boba Fett is actually the one that burned Owen and Beru alive, because he has a flamethrower.
Right. I think in the new
I've never
the new
heard
canon, the new canon is that he hires Boba Fett after the destruction of the Death Star to find the pilot that destroyed it. He wants to know who that was. So in the comics, that's the immediate kind of connection there that you see him hiring Boba Fett. So, anyway, current canon, old canon, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, no.
Loose cannons.
I choose to believe what I want to believe.
On that note,
It's good to have the group back together again. Good to have Chris back.
Good to be here, boys.
Even though you said you'd rather be at the beach, but that's okay.
Yeah. That will be the truth every episode.
I don't blame you. I'd rather be there too. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to be gone for next week. Enjoy this. Listen to it twice. It's long enough, right?
You may as
Is
well.
it? It didn't seem like it was that long of an episode.
No.
I think we're at about 2 hours. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
How we just can't make a show shorter than 2 hours.
We can't.
No, we had one that was 20 minutes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Basically, one of us has to get injured.
Well, technically, it was 22 minutes. I edited it 2 minutes out.
Oh, okay.
You weren't here last week, Chris. I said, I'm glad it wasn't a Patron's Choice podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, oh, that would have sucked. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for everyone who voted for "Spirit in the Sky," which was the best song. I mean, I know I got some pity.
Because I wasn't here.
That's all I got. That's oh wait, we got patrons. We got to thank. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/JandJack or go to jandjack.com. Click on the little button that says "Become a Patron." We've been growing. It's been going crazy lately.
Yeah, thanks to all the people who joined recently. So, there's a lot of I don't have. I probably should have wrote down all the names. So I counted probably at least 6 or 7 people that joined over the last couple of weeks. Yeah,
yeah.
And big thank you to
Joanne.
Yeah, thank you, Joanne. Your post
started the challenge.
was. I think you started this whole thing. You're an inspiration to the group. So thank you so much.
She made people feel guilty, and they listened.
Came at
Totally people, and that's great.
And came at a timely hour when Jack needed you most. So
I needed a pick me up. I needed someone to pick me up.
You literally needed to pick me up, Jack.
Hey, I don't look like Hitler now. I'm fully healed. See?
yeah, you look a lot less Hitler-like. That makes me feel better. I was
A lot less. I don't look like Hitler now.
Yeah, you missed that. If you haven't listened to that last week's episode, Chris, Matt basically
Called and said I was Hitler.
said he was Hitler. Yeah.
I was connecting the dots from the Gorbachev's mark on your head that you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Well, the Gorbachev mark is gone.
Okay.
And I just have the little numbness in the lip there. It's just numb. Little scar right here. But other than that,
Why?
came out. The doctor did a good job of sewing me up. And so the patrons, we thank all our patrons, but we Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rigner Glaffeler, Molly Millennial, Ed the Creepy Letter Carrier, and Maggie the Magnificent. Thanks for doing what you're doing. We thank all our patrons. And also, we all shop Amazon?
I do.
Which is worth what's he worth now? 144. Is it trillion? What's he worth? Billion. 144 billion dollars. Can you imagine how many Coronas you could drink if you had 144 billion dollars, Chris?
He makes I
only drink Coronas for 1 week out of the year.
That Kennedy shirt would be a lot better if you had 144 billion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. But you can go to Amazon. Go to Amazon.com. JJack, whatever it is. Go to jjack.com and click on the little thing that says Amazon. Every little purchase you helps all the podcasters on this. On the many podcasts. We have Owen Baruz with Shandy and Matt. We have joke never gets old.
Yeah.
Ramblecast, the broadcast. We just finished Westworld, and Game of Thrones will return when Game of Thrones returns. Stranger Things and all the other podcasts. You can go. There's a list of them on the jjack.com. And I think that's all I got. Oh, Fartgate. Fartgate's out there.
Yeah. There's a huge Fartgate
Fartgate podcast.
Follow the thread.
Yeah, so. There is a strong theory that's gaining momentum that Jack passed out because he was holding in a fart.
Wow.
Again, I can't make this any more clear. I own my farts. I don't care. I'm 55. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm old. I'm allowed to fart.
My money is still on. It's the most obvious. So, it's not Jay and it's not Jack.
So you think it's Mike?
Yeah.
Zach walking by.
He's talking. You can fart and talk at the same time. Clearly, he let it out, and then it was just because Jack laughs. Jack actually laughs in response to it. If you listen to the full thing, I think Jack heard it. So anyway,
I still have no idea what this whole Fartgate thing's all about.
Was Jack laughing because he thought it was funny, or because he did it and he was underestimating the power of his own?
Why do you keep throwing me under the bus, Nick? It wasn't me.
But see, the mic was active. I've even seen the digital kind of display. The mic was active for Mike. If anybody's going to pick up if anybody's microphone's going to pick up the fart, it's not going to switch automatically. You guys, we've been podcasting for a while. If one of us makes a noise, it has to be active on our side in order for it to pick it up. Right.
All right. So I've been blaming Jay, but you think it's Mike.
I do.
All right.
So anyway, sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to bloom your bubble. So that's my hot take on it, though. So, and I'm not even on the Fartgate podcast yet.
They haven't asked you to be on there yet?
I don't know. So I guess if
you know what, it could be on the Owen Baruz feed.
We just throw anything else on there nowadays.
Here's my theory on Fartgate. It was Vader.
Vader.
No, just a hot leathery fart.
Yeah.
Luke, I'm the farter.
On that note, great show, guys.
1 in a million.
1 in a million, yeah.
Yeah, go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Thanks,
Bingo.
we appreciate it. All right, guys. Hasta luego, and goodbye.
See you
Later.